Hello everyone, you are joining with Sri TV Primetime News. I'm Kalum Bandara. Let's look at the headlines.
Faisal Mustafa met Maithripala Sirisena. International monitors being works. Ban Ki-moon seeks free and fair election in Sri Lanka.
United Nations General Secretary Ban Ki-moon has conveyed his strong expectation that the government of Sri Lanka will ensure the peaceful and credible conduct of its upcoming presidential election scheduled for the beginning of the new year.
The UN said that in a phone call with G.L. Peiris, the Minister of External Affairs, Ban reaffirmed the UN's continuous support for reconciliation, political dialogue and accountability as the country heads towards the election on 8th of January 2015. In his conversation with Peiris, the Secretary-General noted the importance of inclusive participation of all Sri Lankan voters, including minority communities, in the election process without any fear.
Former Sri Lankan President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumartunga has asked the police chief to take action against the preparators of the attack against her in Birwala on December 26th.
Writing to the Inspector General of Police N.K. Ilangakon through her lawyers, the former president said the attack on her by the ruling party supporters led by the Birwala Urban Council chairman was intended to grievously hurt Ms. Kumartunga. The former president said that the police have shown to remarkable lack of independence and impartiality and a lack of will to tackle acts of violence, especially those perpetrated by supporters of President Mahinda Rajapaksa against the opposition. She demanded the IGP and his subordinates to make immediate action to bring the preparators to book, and if the IGP fails, she wrote that she will be compelled to take legal action against the IGP and his subordinate for failure to perform their duties according to law.
International election monitors have begun monitoring the pre-election activities ahead of the January 8 presidential election.
The People's Action for a Free and Fair Election said that members of the Asian Election Monitoring Network who are now in the country will begin observation from tomorrow. PAFRL invited the Asian monitors, and 36 foreign election monitors from the Asian Election Monitoring Network arrived in Sri Lanka to observe the polls. According to PAFRL, a special training program was held today to give the foreign monitors an understanding of the proceeding in Sri Lanka. The Asian monitors were invited following discussions held with the Election Commissioner. The Asian monitors will monitor the pre- and post-polls environment as well as the election itself. Elections Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya has also invited Commonwealth monitors for the presidential election.
The Sri Lankan Navy has confirmed the arrest of 8 Indian fishermen along with their boats for allegedly crossing the international maritime boundary line and fishing in the country's water.
The fishermen hail from Tamil Nadu and were arrested near the Kachathip Island. The fishermen have been taken to Talaimanna along with their boat. However, on Monday, Sri Lanka released 66 Tamil Nadu fishermen who were arrested by the Navy on charges of illegal fishing in Lankan waters, but extended the judicial remand of another 15 Tamil Nadu fishermen till January 5th.
Indian actor Salman Khan and the Sri Lankan-born Jacqueline Fernandez arrived in Sri Lanka on Monday morning. India's PTI news agency reported that Salman Khan has arrived in Sri Lanka to join the pre-election campaign of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. PTI also reports that this is the first time that an Indian actor has participated in this way in a Sri Lankan poll. PTI also reports that 5 other Bollywood performers are accompanying Khan and Fernandez. The duo participated at a health clinic at Campbell Park in Borella this morning, which was organized by Tharuneta Hetak Organization and the Tilanga Sumathipala Foundation. The president too participated in this multi-service health clinic, which also featured eye and dental care services. Following the conclusion of the clinic, the president met with people at the location accompanied by the Bollywood performers. The Election Secretariat says that the number of cases regarding the use of state officials for political campaigning has risen, with the number of complaints standing at 148. Moreover, the Election Secretariat has received 16 complaints on the case of transfer and unsystematic promotion of state officials. The Complaints Unit of the Election Secretariat said that a total of 752 complaints have been received, of which 78 are of serious in nature. President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that if the nation is to move towards change, it should be changed for the better. He expressed these following views last day. I took 1.5 hours to get from Kantunayaka to here. Now it only takes 15 to 20 minutes. So change is happening. If there is a need for change again, then it should not be regressions to the time where it took 1.5 hours to travel. When moving towards change, it should be changed for the better. It should not be changed for destruction. Are these people with the strength to bring out change? We need to think about this too. Who are living in Europe must be aware of this change and the change that is happening in other countries. I believe that a certain group in Sri Lanka has turned heads using a Facebook views. Certain groups are doing this. It is the same thing that happened in Libya. Additional Election Commissioner U. Amardas said that postal votes could be cast from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. today, Tuesday, December 13th. Additional Election Commissioner notified the respective Gram Nildaris regarding the issuance of temporary IDs 3 weeks ago. Moreover, the Department of Election has sent a letter to household heads notifying them of persons within the household who are not in the electoral list and urging them to apply for a temporary IDs in the order to cast their vote for the elections. So we have notified the respective divisions Gram Nildari of this and urged them to take necessary measures to grant them temporary IDs. So we have notified the respective divisions Gram Nildari of this and urged them to take the necessary measures to grant them temporary IDs. Also, due to the prevalent weather situation, the deadline to apply for a temporary IDs has been extended from the 31st of December to the 3rd of January as per the instruction of the Election Commissioner.
Bringing in Bollywood actor Salman Khan to campaign for President Mahinda Rajapaksa is a disgrace to the Sri Lankans, says UNP MP Dr. Harshada Silva.
MP Silva said, "How can one go that low? As a Sri Lankan, I am ashamed to see people are being fooled and treated like a bunch of idiots. The president should have asked Sri Lankan artists like Amardewa Malini Fonseca to help him with electioneering without disgracing Sri Lanka as a nation." Khan was accompanied by former Miss Sri Lanka turned Bollywood actress Jacqueline Fernandez. They are said to be close friends of Hambantota district parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa. Meanwhile, Common Candidates Media Unit yesterday said that a number of artists, including Samanali Fonseca and Indra Palyanage, has been attacked yesterday in Kurunegala.
Investment Promotion Deputy Minister Faisal Mustafa has met Common Candidate Maithripala Sirisena at the latter's office yesterday.
The meeting took place just hours after the Deputy Minister's arrival from Singapore. During the meeting, Mustafa agreed to work with the common opposition. Mustafa, who is likely to pledge support to the common candidate of the opposition, is expected to announce his decision on the presidential election today or tomorrow.
Bollywood artists Salman Khan and Jacqueline Fernandez yesterday attended a rally of UPFA candidate President Mahinda Rajapaksa in Borella yesterday. A 17-year-old youth has been hacked to death by a group of unknown individuals in the Petia area in Kelaniya last afternoon. Maithripala Sirisena's office at Nithangala Sorabovila Mahiyangana was attacked last night. 3 injured in this attack. Injured were transferred to the ICU unit of Mahiyangana Hospital for further treatment. Wife of Kotikavatta Mulleriyawa Pradesh Sabha Chairman Prasanga Solangarachi has made a tearful appeal to the government not to kill her husband.
More news will be continued after a short commercial break. Stay with us. The alleged leader of the 2008 Milton attacks on Mumbai has won an appeal against his detention in Pakistan.
Lawyer for Zaki-ur-Rahman Lakhvi said a government detention order issued last week infringed his rights as he had been granted bail by another court. Analyst says he could be freed as soon as the paperwork is completed. India says a Pakistan militant group carried out the attack which killed 165. Pakistan has not convicted anyone suspected of planning the attacks. Mr. Lakhvi is among 7 suspects who have been in jail awaiting trial for 6 years. 9 others have been charged in absentia.
Indonesian officials says they are sending team to investigate reports of the smoke on the island in the area where Air Asia flight QZ8501 has gone missing.
The multinational search for the plane has entered a third day, with the operation are now widened to cover 13 zones over land and sea. The Airbus A320-200 carrying 162 people from Surabaya in Indonesia to Singapore disappeared on Sunday. The pilot's last contact was a request to divert around bad weather. Indonesian officials said air traffic control had approved one request to veer left, then gave clearance to a second request for permission to climb 2 to 3 minutes later. No reply was received and the plane then disappeared from radar. No trace has yet been found.
Italian officials says they cannot be certain how many people are still missing from the Norman Atlantic ferry of Corfu, with evacuation complete.
1 man died trying to escape the ship, which was on a night journey from Greece to Italy, and a further 9 bodies were later found. More than 400 people were rescued amid gale force winds and thick smoke. Survivors have described scenes from hell as order broke down aboard the ferry ahead of the rescue. They gave accounts of passengers trampling over and hitting each other to be the first in line to be taken to safety. Captain Argilio Giancomasi was widely praised for staying on board to see the evacuation through, more than 36 hours after sending out a distress signal.
Alan Irwin has been sacked as West Brom manager after 7 months in charge at Hawthorns.
The 56-year-old Scot was appointed to boss in June following the exit of Pope Mel and was on a 12-month rolling contract. The Badgers are 16th in a Premier League table, a point above the relegation zone following their 2-0 defeat at Stoke on Sunday, their 7th loss in 9 games.
Yeah, I was. I was a little bit disappointed with our finishing because we got into good positions. But obviously, other than that, I was happy with the way that we played. We'd probably dominated the game. We'd created chances, and I felt by just being a bit more clinical and by just tidying up in the final third that we would get the chances to score.
That's for the news today. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.